everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Show, where we talk about all components of business and how to utilize them for exponential growth. My name is Athin Cassiotis. I'm a business growth strategist where I help business owners grow, scale, cut costs, and increase profit. And today, I have an awesome guest. He's an entrepreneur, copywriter, high-ticket strategist, and best-selling author of From Anxiety to Iron Man. He is the founder of the Top Gun Copy Academy and is the author of the Need for Speed Copywriting Handbook, which helps business owners stand out from the crowd who want to create clear and engaging content for their raving fans. He specializes in email list management and will be sharing key insights on the best strategies for optimizing your email list. Welcome, Athin Radonic, and thank you for being on my show.
Thanks, Athin. Thanks for having me on, man.
You're very welcome, mate. It's going to be an awesome show, I'm sure, for everyone watching and listening. So, mate, you're a very successful entrepreneur. And for those people who don't know who you are, please introduce yourself by telling us about you and your journey.
Yeah, so probably about 10 years ago, I was in the corporate world and decided to take a roundabout turn and start my own business. And yeah, just kind of had a local kind of sports massage clinic and really enjoyed working for myself, and slowly got introduced to things like ClickFunnels and marketing and sales, and just started to kind of think more in terms of I had all of these business skills and building websites and running a business. And I was like, okay, how can I kind of apply this, you know, to a new medium? So I really kind of started to get into marketing and decided to write a book, and that really kind of brought out my natural copywriting skills. It was always something that was there, but I never really thought about becoming a copywriter. But it was kind of like it was a thing that was actually there the whole time. Like I was really great at writing, I was really great at storytelling, and so it was this natural progression towards doing copywriting and, you know, writing ads and writing emails and sales letters. And yeah, that's kind of how the journey began. And it was just that immersion into something that I really loved and really enjoyed doing.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Great story from having that business to then finding something you're really passionate about and great at, and then creating that into a business as well, mate. So love all of that. And so obviously you're mainly focusing on email list management, right, with your copywriting. So probably initially, why did you decide to focus on this aspect of copywriting?
Because I think it's I think with email lists, I think a lot of people, a lot of business owners are actually underrate them. That it's kind of that email lists are dead, and they're actually not. They're thriving, and a lot of 6 to 7 to 8 figure businesses are actually utilizing email day to day. They're emailing their subscribers daily, and they're actually making revenue out of their lists. And I think it's an important thing to kind of remember is just like, you know, we kind of went through this period of COVID where there was all this uncertainty, but all of the businesses that had email lists, they could change and pivot and create new offers and then send that out to their list. Whereas a lot of people who didn't have that traffic, they really struggled, or they had to go out and source that traffic and pay for it through Facebook. And that's probably the one thing to remember is, when you've got an email list, you own that traffic, you own that list, and you own the subscribers on that list. So whenever you're going out and you're having to source new customers, there's a cost of acquisition to do that. But once you've got them on your email list, there's no cost to acquire. And generally what we find is, you know, a subscriber is worth $1, you know, per subscriber per month. And when you've, say, got a list of 5,000 people, that can become quite profitable. And as you start to apply different strategies, you can actually increase that to $2 or $3 or $4 per subscriber. And some lists are, you know, generating up to $25 per subscriber. So it's extremely profitable, and people are still reading emails. And I think it's one thing that a lot of people tend to forget.
Yeah, love it, mate. Really powerful. And love talking about the numbers behind it as well, because I know that's a big thing for businesses and why they should focus on it. And do you want to maybe share a little bit some other tips about obviously why we should have and build our list? Because a lot of people probably have a lot of people on social media, you know, as their connections or their fans and followers. But, you know, having these people on a list, you know, with other details can be powerful as well, right?
Yeah, because you can really kind of get into kind of segmenting the list and, you know, really kind of following those people that, you know, with social media, it's very, very difficult to get reach. Whereas with an email list, you've actually got a direct connection to your subscribers, and you can be a lot more personal within the emails. And, you know, you can really kind of tell stories, you know, and different things that are kind of happening in your life. And you can obviously then include some like promotional offers if there's different things that you're kind of pivoting into, and it's also fantastic for actually getting feedback for what your target market wants. And at the end of the day, what we've got to remember is people who have subscribed to your email list, you know, they've actually taken the time to put their name in their email and actually give you that information. So it's something that's really powerful, because not a lot of people are willing to do that. So you've almost got this list of raving fans. And when you look at, say, Facebook, when you look at your reach on Facebook, it's fairly minimal. Like the only way to really get great reach on Facebook is to do some sort of advertising. But if you actually spend a little bit of time actually, you know, nurturing and actually building your list, you know, one, it can be extremely profitable, but two, you're actually building this amazing and this direct connection with your subscribers. And it's very, very different from just sending a post out, because you can really write about things that are personal to you and challenges and frustrations that you're having, and also the, you know, the wins that you're having as well.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love all that info. And do you want to maybe delve a little bit deeper and just tell us maybe some pro tips or something, you know, for copywriting and getting the attention? Because like you said, there's a lot of different ways we can do it, but sometimes, you know, we want to make sure that we're getting, you know, people's attention. They're not just, you know, scanning over it and things like that as well.
Yeah, look, I think that, you know, one of the main things is obviously to have an ESP, an email service provider, set up. So you can actually, you know, capture the email address and be able to kind of send it out. So, you know, looking at different platforms, I normally kind of recommend ActiveCampaign or Aweber. If you're specifically in the e-commerce game, definitely look at kind of Klaviyo. And, you know, when it comes down to the best performing emails, personal stories are fantastic. They're a fantastic way to, you know, we all relate to storytelling even from when we were kids. People love a great story. So one of the other things that I like to do is I call it the coffee email. You know, everyone wants to start their day with a great coffee or a great story. So by sending, you know, regular emails, and if you kind of do it in a way that's entertaining and that's actually adding value, you know, people are going to be looking out for that email in their inbox. So, you know, the coffee email I really like to write, because it's a way I can, you know, directly connect with my list, and it's entertaining and it adds value. And, you know, I think if you do those two things, you can nurture your list really well.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love that. You know, connecting with stories, definitely have done that for thousands of years. That's how, you know, information and you know, everything was transferred from people. So love it. Now, obviously, that's great for when we've got a list, right? But maybe we haven't sent emails to a list for a while, or, you know, we're just sort of starting up and things like that. So if it hasn't happened for a while, you know, we want to sort of ignite that again. What are some tips that you can give us for that as well?
Yeah, look, as I said, if you know, probably if you're a newbie and you don't have an email list, obviously, you know, the first thing you need to do is, you know, pick an email service provider. As I kind of mentioned, there's ActiveCampaign, Aweber, and Klaviyo that are great. So you can just kind of, you know, they've kind of got starter packages that you can kind of grab with that. Probably the next thing you want to do is create a really amazing welcome email. It can be really basic, or you can have even like a longer sequence. You can have like a 5-day sequence just to kind of tell your story about your business and, you know, what you actually do and what you offer and how you can help. But if you're just starting out, you can just have just like one welcome email. And then from there, you can just kind of send out regular emails. You don't have to send out, you know, it doesn't have to be something that's done daily. You can just send like one a week or, you know, twice a week, or whatever cadence you're kind of happy with, that's manageable for you. And, you know, as it becomes more profitable, you can then send, you know, more emails. So it's also, you know, being consistent and just committing to that, just sending that once a week or twice a week or whatever it is. So that's probably the best way to kind of set it up if you're a newbie.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love that. How we do it now. Obviously, as we've got this list and we're building it, we want to have, I guess, a bit of variety, and depending on what we've got going on in our business as well. So you want to maybe talk a little bit about the different types of like email campaigns, I guess, that we can run at the same time.
Yeah, so there's kind of, you've got the broadcast emails, which is emails that you would kind of send on a regular basis. You know, kind of those day-to-day stories, those kind of coffee emails, if you want to call it that. You know, you can then do kind of promotional emails. So if you've got like a specific offer, so you might say, okay, we've got this offer campaign that we're running this month. So whether it's like a Halloween campaign or a Mother's Day campaign, you can run something like that to the list. You can create your own campaigns. You know, even if you're, say, launching a new product or service, you know, that's another campaign that you can run. So you can actually sit down and be quite methodical and strategic and actually map out each, you know, month to month of different kind of promotional campaigns that you're wanting to run.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love that. Yeah, being specific as well as being consistent at the same time as well with what we're doing on the list. And I think consistency is a big thing, right, out there, because otherwise people forget, right, about us. We need to be front of mind where we can as well when they're ready to buy or, you know, whatever it is that we're offering people. So, okay, so obviously there's a lot of these different elements, right, that you've talked about. So to have a really successful list, I guess, what are some of the big key things, you know, that we should be doing to make sure that the list is actually being successful at the same time?
Yeah, I think probably the big keys, one of the biggest keys is to send more emails, because the more emails are sent, essentially, you know, the more revenue you can kind of bring into the business. A lot of people actually worry about sending too many emails. And I think one of the most important things to remember is if you're sending out entertaining and valuable content, people won't get sick of that. What people will get sick of is if you just keep sending promotional material without adding any value. So the more emails that you can basically send, the more and be of value, the more revenue you can kind of, you know, bring into the email list. You know, and one of the other big ones is, you know, setting up automation. So setting up like a welcome series. If you're in the e-com business, you know, setting up abandoned cart, because abandoned cart's a really big one. You know, some people will be in the middle of buying something will happen, and, you know, they just don't go through with the purchase. Whereas you can actually set up automations within the back end of a email service provider, and you can actually send them an email and go, hey, noticed you were, you know, about to check out with item XYZ. You know, here's the actual link to go back to the cart and complete your order. And, you know, that can kind of generate, you know, 30 or 40% increase in revenue. Another big one is follow-up sequences. Like if someone goes to book a call with you, again, they just forget or they just get busy and get sidetracked. You can actually set up special automations where it actually follows up and go, hey, you tried to book a call. How about, you know, here's the link, and, you know, let's chat more about the, you know, the problem that you're having or whatever it is. And probably the third big one is deliverability, and making sure that your subscribers are seeing your emails and sending valuable content. One of the big problems with email is having deliverability issues, where the emails are either going to spam or to junk, or they're actually going to the promo tab. So, one of the big things is actually, offering a deliverability service that helps get emails back into the primary, and so people are actually seeing the emails.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I know there's more and more filters happening with these emails now, depending on what you're doing, and moving things across so we can see them, and I'm sure there's some key things there to ensure that they do go into that service. So that's awesome, mate. Now, I know I guess ads are still a big topic, right? Where people want to get out there because, with marketing, it's always good for testing and doing multiple different, avenues of getting clients. And I know you've done copywriting for ads, right, as well in the past, and potentially still do today. So do you want to maybe just talk about a little bit, because I think this will bring value to everyone, about what key considerations should we be mindful of when we're running ads, I guess, compared to like an email, marketing campaign?
Well, so running ads is interesting, because what you're essentially doing is you're running an ad. Say it might be like a lead magnet, and that essentially you're using something that's valuable to your audience. So the one thing you've got to think about when you're running an ad is, and it's going to be a lead magnet, and it might be something free or it might be something paid. It's really thinking about your target audience, like what does my target audience really want and need, and is going to be valuable to them. And then once you kind of have that information, you can actually form an ad around that information, or you can create an info product or a PDF or a low ticket offer or whatever it might be. And the beauty of that is like when they opt in for the lead magnet, they're actually opting into your list. And then once they're into your list, you can have a welcome series, and then you can start sending those, broadcast emails. And that's where everything ties back into email marketing. But I think the beauty of doing ads is you can scale a lot quicker. So instead of doing things organically with paid ads such as Facebook, what's powerful about that is you can quite quickly scale and build an email list from scratch, and you can actually do it quite quickly. But I think the big key is having a really valuable lead magnet, and actually doing the research and finding out like what your actual target audience wants, because it's very different for everybody. From coaches to e-commerce, to brick and mortar businesses. Your target audience will want something very, very different. And so sometimes it's a little bit of testing, and then sometimes it's actually, sending out surveys and actually understanding their exact wants, needs, and desires.
Yeah, I love it, mate. Really powerful. Thanks for breaking that down a little bit more, and how they can work, in unison as well, right? It's like, okay, we want to build the email list quickly. We can use ads to the lead magnet, and then that puts fuel to the fire in a good way to the email list management to then grow it organically from there as well. So love that, mate. And obviously I'm in the coaching space, and many people are, I guess, and it's growing at the moment. So you'd obviously be working with, some coaches to help them copyright things for their offers and emails and things like that as well. So what are you seeing, I guess, in terms of what types of offers we should be focusing on, right, in the market, to making sure that we're getting a good return as well?
Yeah, I think when it comes to coaching is obviously, if you're, when you're going out to the market, and you're going out to a cold market, I think it's understanding like what kind of traffic you're actually looking at, whether it's cold, warm, or hot. And obviously when it's cold traffic, if you're a coach and someone doesn't know about you, probably the best way to market with them is something valuable in terms of a lead magnet. So they might be, for a coach, they might want to know like how to find clients quickly, on autopilot. That might be part of their hook, is they're doing all of this organic outreach. It's really time consuming, but if you can actually help them reduce the amount of time that it takes to find clients, or it might be they might need help with the sales process. If they've got, say, a high ticket offer and they're selling something for $5,000, they might need help to actually get better at actually selling to a prospect. Because they might book a 30 or 40-minute call, and within that time, you want to be able to kind of add value and help them solve their problems. And that might be an important aspect. So it really does come back to what specifically that target market needs help with. But when it comes to coaches, I think, the two big ones are essentially, helping them with their finding new clients, because we always need new clients, and obviously helping them with the sales process so they can actually increase their conversion. So, if they're talking to 10 people and they're only converting one, if you can provide some advice to actually help them, say, increase that conversion to, say, 5 out of 10, that's going to be really, really valuable to them. So it's really assessing exactly what the market wants and needs, and basically helping them, fill those gaps.
Yeah, love it, mate. Powerful stuff there. And I guess towards the start of the call, you mentioned sort of getting into ClickFunnels and things like that. And funnels, are a bigger thing now, right? A term that's coming out of automating things, I guess, in a sequence, in a process. So do you want to maybe share a little bit about funnels? Because obviously emails become part of the funnel, but they're not, necessarily the actual funnel, because you've got some online stuff that happens at the same time, landing pages and things like that alongside of it. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about funnels and what's sort of, working as well?
Yeah, so this is something that I kind of, when I initially started with ClickFunnels, I really kind of got into the kind of the techie stuff, which I kind of, which I really enjoyed. But essentially, like with funnels, say if it was, say, for a coach, you might have a funnel with, say, a low ticket offer. And then as that person is going through the funnel, they might come to an upsell. So you can actually strategically place things in a funnel where, they've got multiple chances to buy different things from you. So you might have, say, an offer for, say, $7, then it might be, say, $47, and then it might be $97. So it's actually a way to, add value to the client, to the prospect, in terms of, having different stages of, like, okay, so you've bought this, would you be interested in this? So there's this kind of, generally sales funnels kind of sit in that, in that low ticket space. Like, so they've opted in and they've bought one product, and then it's just like, oh, hey, would you like to upgrade to this? Will this also help your business, or, help you achieve something else? So that's where sales funnels can be really, really quite powerful, because you can start with a lower ticket item and then slowly progress up. And then as they're kind of onto your mailing list, you can then obviously, potentially sell them into like a higher ticket offer as well. So initially people tend to kind of do sales funnels as a way to actually, actually break even on the costs. Because when you think of, the cost of advertising is expensive, and a really great way to offset that cost is actually have a sales funnel where you have, multiple upsells or downsells. So you can actually break even on the costs. And then you're actually acquiring a customer without having to pay for it out of pocket. And that in itself is really powerful.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Thanks for sharing all of that. And I guess while we're still talking about the coaching space, and I guess the mentoring space as well, which is linked, obviously I have a lot of coaches and mentors myself, and they've helped me to grow. I'd love to hear it from your perspective in your time being in business, how coaching and mentoring has helped you, and what has helped you to achieve as well.
Yeah, look, I think it's huge, right? Because I think one of the biggest problems when we're launching a business, or when we're in our own business, is it's very hard to see from the inside out. And coaching for me is critical to my success, and having people around that kind of understand where I want to go and what I want to do. I think it's very difficult to kind of grow and learn when you're kind of by yourself, because I think entrepreneurship can be quite, not lonely, but it can be quite isolating because you're kind of, you're building the business yourself. So to have, key mentors and key coaches in and around you, it just elevates you and it just gets you, to where you want to go a lot quicker. And, that's definitely been the case for me as at different times when I've been stuck at different, in different, I suppose, aspects of my journey, I've had to reach out to coaches. And, what's amazing is, you can speak to someone about, where you're stuck at, and within 5 or 10 minutes, they've, assessed the whole situation and given you a solution. You're just like, that was so obvious. And it was just like, but when you're in it, it's very, very hard to see. So a coach can actually give you, advice and actually help you, pivot and be more strategic and actually give you, solutions to your problems. So for me, coaching is pivotal to, to growing and learning and, becoming a, more and more successful copywriter and entrepreneur.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Love that. Completely agree with how impactful coaching and mentoring is for us to help us grow in many different ways. Love it, mate. Now, I know you have a need for speed copywriting handbook. So do you want to maybe tell us a little bit more about, how that can help us?
Yeah, so I basically, I'm a bit of a fan of Top Gun, and it's really good timing with the movie coming out this week. But yeah, so one of the things I kind of wanted to do was when I kind of went through and started copywriting, I just noticed all of these different challenges that I was having when I was trying to create content. So essentially what I went back and did was I documented my process and actually worked out like what were the hardest things I found about copywriting, because the copywriting is essentially simplifying your message so it's clear. So people know what action to take. They when a lot of people post, they post in these big chunks of text, and it's very, very hard to read. So, one of the lessons I teach is actually how to simplify, the message and actually break it down into smaller sentences so it's just easier to read. So there's a whole list of strategies that actually go through, how to write emails, how to actually, once you've actually written one piece of content, how to actually simplify that and actually turn it into multiple posts. So you can post it on LinkedIn, you can post it on Facebook, on Instagram, and even turn it into a blog. So instead of feeling like you've got to write on multiple different ways, I've actually simplified this kind of template. So it will show you how to write more clearly. And also, just all the different kind of things that I learn along the way. To simplify, getting your message out there, and being clear about what you're actually writing. And I think that's huge, because a lot of people tend to forget to, include a call to action. Like, what, if you've written a post or an email, like what action do you want them to take? So including a link. And one of the other important things is a lot of people tend to post like 3 or 4 or 5 different links, and that becomes really confusing. We don't want to confuse people. We want to simplify the decision to click. So just including one click. So I also show you strategies on how you can do that as well. So, it's a great little book. It's great for if you're starting out, or even if you're a business owner and you just purely want to simplify and just get better and faster at writing without consuming large amounts of time. It's a fantastic little book to teach you those little nuances of copywriting.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Sounds really powerful. I'm definitely going to check it out further and recommend other people as well, right? Just to even hone in our own skills or just being aware, right? And then, because I think part of it as well in business in general, right, is having some decent knowledge about certain parts of business. because then, if we work with like yourself, say, right, to help with our copywriting, it's like, okay, I've got a decent understanding what copywriting is. So then I know what Ivan's doing, and, he's helping me to do these types of things, right? So it just makes us to make better decisions, more informed decisions, instead of just going, hey, you work with it and I don't know anything about it, right? It's, you don't want to, sit back and not know your stuff. You want to know something about it. You don't have to be the expert, of course, but knowing some element there. So I love it, mate. Powerful stuff there as well. And I guess, yeah, awesome value and stuff today, mate, on what you've shared. So thank you for all of that too. So I guess as we're wrapping up, what one key piece of advice would you give to all the entrepreneurs watching and listening today?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the most important thing that kind of drives my business is being passionate about what you do. Like, I think it's finding something that you really love to do and just doing more of that. I think the difficulty is like we tend to, and this is kind of a lesson that, that I've learned, is you kind of, as an entrepreneur, you're kind of, you're across so many different things, aspects of your business. I think it's sometimes difficult to let that go, and you're trying to do everything. So yeah, I think probably one of the most powerful things is like building a fantastic team around you. You can't do everything, and you can't be an expert at everything, and it takes time. It's whether you're a copywriter or a strategist or a media buyer, like they're all different. They're all different roles that have nuances. So, one of the biggest things for me is having a team around me that can help me with those other things. Because if I wanted to learn to be, say, a media buyer, understanding Facebook ads, I have to invest a lot of time and energy to do that. So I prefer personally to hire someone that can help me with that aspect, so I don't have to go learn what they've learned, and I can kind of stick to, the things that I do really, really well. So if there's probably one piece of advice is, stick to what you're amazing at and grow those, and grow that skill. And then also have a team around you that can kind of help you and support you, and, get those other things, those other aspects of the business that are important, and get that done as well.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Powerful lesson there. I clearly agree with that. Delegating out and building that awesome team around us to help us to grow in different ways. Amazing stuff there, mate. And we connected through our networks, where I learned about your awesome journey from helping people with the sports interviews initially, to then becoming obviously a copywriter, copy instructor as well, to help people and focusing on being an expert of the delivery and managing email lists now. You're an awesome guy, mate, and I'm sure you'll continue to support entrepreneurs, elite coaches, and everybody to make more of a difference in this world as well. Very grateful that we connected, and I look forward to working with you in the future. So Ivan, how can people find you and get in contact with you?
Yeah, so probably the best place to find me, if you're wanting to kind of get a little bit more information, or if you like a free copy of the book, just go to www.ivanradonic.com, or also search for me on LinkedIn. So feel free to send me a message if you've got a question. I'm more than happy to answer it. And I'll look forward to meeting you.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Definitely check him out. He knows his stuff with the email list and how we can build up and get a lot more revenue and clients, right, in our business as well. And thank you to everyone for watching and listening to this show, where we talk about everything on business growth. And please like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube as Athin Cassiotis, or visit my website, athincassiotis.com. If you want to grow, scale, cut costs, and increase profit in your business, you can reach out to me on any platform to see if we're a good fit. I completely agree with you, or do I? The only way you'll know is if you tune in next time. So until next time, remember that our business grows when we learn skills and take action using them in spite of fear. So remember to design your growth and results.